Oh, this is the second time I've done this because of an issue. Let's just make sure the cinema's going to open. There you go. Alright, bruv. Okay, right. Before I start this little tutorial, this is about taking Smart Studio files that you recorded on your Rokoko Smart Studio through a process that I've found works quite well. I am sure there are better ways to do this, and I'm sure people have had more success doing it differently. I haven't. I've tried retargeting, I've tried constraint tags, I've tried it in Blender, I've tried it in Unity, I've tried it in Unreal. Some of those things work really well, the game engines work really well, however, I can't clean up the data. So I found something that works as a flow, and that's all I'm going to talk through. If in the comments people want to be really pissy about what and do the things that people on YouTube usually do, which is like, oh my god, did you not know how to use constraint tags properly? It's like, I do, and it didn't work, and after many times of trying, I just ultimately gave up on that and figured out a different way. If you know a better way, happy days, keep it to yourself or share it. So we're going to start at the start. I have recorded all of my Smart Studio data. I'll give you this tip actually. This is opening shots for some projects I did everything in. Inspecting files, nothing. It gives me absolutely nothing in here. I spoke to the guys at Rokoko, very helpful. So to start a new project, dump the saves in the new file structure, and then they'll open up and antivirus protection expired. Yeah, the guys were really helpful, and they got me back into the file which wasn't working properly. So here's my data. Here's one of them cleaned up, one of them's not, because I didn't need this one. I've already got a take of it where it was right. I'll show you why the other take wasn't right. It was because of Nathan off. You can see I didn't spot it when we recorded it, but Greg's foot data was all over the shop. Now that's fixable the way I'm going to show you. So if you end up with data that's completely screwed, but that you like to take, we can fix that later on if you need to. But I didn't need to. What I did was I spotted it and got a different take where I got him to do a fresh T-pose, and then went through. It's still a bit spazzy, but we can clean it up. I went through, did all the weight exchanges, and bada bing, all done. Alright. Excuse me, I do have a bit of a cold. I'm going to try and cut everything out if I get sniffly at any point. So what I do next is we have to export it. I don't export it as an FBX 2016. I do it as an FBX 2014 because we're going to go back and forth through lots of different bits of software. We're going to go from Smart Studio to Cinema to Motion Builder, back into Motion Builder again to do the cleanup, which is a bit of a weird stage, but it's essential, and then out to Cinema, keeping it consistent by using FBX's file types from a while ago. All of those bits of software tend to talk better with each other. It's not even that it's more stable, it's just an older version that they can all use. Make sure you do a Miximo export. FBX binary, I don't know the difference between these, but this one's the one that I tend to use. I haven't actually captured any face data in this, but we talked about that in a different tutorial. Anyway, export, blah wing, processes, export. Exports both of them no matter what, and I can't seem to get rid of one of these, but it's fine, you don't have to import them both. From there, let's open up Motion Builder, and I'll show you why I take it into Cinema first to then export it. Right. In Motion Builder, which is it's quite a confusing piece of software, but it is great. If I open my base T-pose, yeah, all that's fine. it'll bring in our spaceman. Spaceman, always wanted you to go. Right, okay, you can see it's a bit fuckery from this here, but this is just straight up export out of mixing mode. So mixing mode, you can't control the weighting on the rig, so it's done. It's messed up the underneath of the arms here. But for what I'm going to do, it doesn't really matter. This camera has come here because this has also been already taken through Cinema while I was checking it. Down here is all your file structure, and on the scene we can just get rid of that camera in the navigator. Delete, confirm. We don't need that. Null is, if I open that up, this is all of the Spaceman's elements. Don't worry, there's not any texture on there. It's the texture is still on there. It'll see it when we take it back into cinema. We can go display, hide selected. Shows us the rig straight out of mixing mode. Now, the reason I was showing you this is because, and I'm again, before anybody in the comments, like anybody's going to comment, tells me that there's a way to do this. This is the reason I go through cinema first. If I take in, if I go file, motion file import, this is where we're going to bring in our Smart Studio data. I bring in Greg 161 to check that that's the right one. 161 Greg, yeah. And I open it up. I go on create, not merge for the first one. Go on create, import. If I select, see this one here, it says too many keys for edit. This one hasn't got any keyframes on. This is the rig itself. This one here with the two dots is the motion capture data. We click on this tool up here, the translate is it, and I pull it back. You can see that the data, the motion capture data, doesn't come through looking like a rig like this. It's fine, and if you do the Rokoko tutorial, they do this stage. But I found that in creating the skeleton rig, the control rig, which is the next stage we're going to do, works better if you can actually select the middle of the joint. If you can only select the pivot point of the joint, it don't really work the same. I don't know why. It's just when we come to it, it sometimes doesn't do it. So what I do instead, delete, confirm. I need to select this bit of a faff actually. Select all these and select the branches, and then delete, and it's deleted the whole thing. Because sometimes it messes with the play button and stuff. It doesn't work if you do it. If you get it wrong, and you can just find yourself stuck. So now what I do is I come into cinema first. I go file, merge objects, and we're going to go to Smart Studio Files, Pipeline Demo, which is the one we just exported, and I'm going to take this in here first. Give it a minute to pull the files through. Right, so this already, it's got the actual bones in there as well. That's what I'm after. So then I come to File, Export, FBX, stick it in a more sensible place. Cinema FBX converts, let's call it Pipeline Demo. Pipeline Demo. Sticking it as Greg walking. Look, right, straight away, make sure we've got the FBX is all consistent and not 2016. I've just found it doesn't work quite as well on 2016 as it does on 2014. Leave everything the same, export. That is, again, going to bring in a bunch of crap that we don't need into Motion Builder, but we can get rid of it. So now back in Motion Builder, File, Motion File Import, we're going to go find this one, open it. Blah blah blah, create, yeah, it does have that selected, but I found sometimes I turned it off and it didn't import it properly, so it's easier just to delete it like that. So now, here is our export from cinema, and you can see it basically looks the same. The head's a bit different because this has got some face data on there, but it just does not matter. Right, next step for the retargeting. What we have to do is we're going to select the front rig, and we're going to go, we need to define the skeleton. A valid skeleton is required. If you want to define one of these, define. Okay, I'm going to take this bit slightly slower than the guys on the Smart Studio did, because I found on their tutorial, and it's going to sound like I'm going to dig. I'm really not. They just got to a bit and went, oh, and then you just connect everything. But there were some bits I couldn't quite see what they were doing. So all you're doing is telling Motion Builder what bit of the body that is. So that bit of the body there is actually the left toe base. So you select it with left click, right click, and assign selected bone. Let's assign that bone to there. Come back up one. This bit here is the left foot. So click to select it, right click, assign bone. It does it on the other side as it's doing it on the side that you're doing. It's symmetrical, was what I was trying to say. Next bit, select there. You can just right click, but I've even found that sometimes doesn't work. I always find it better to left click first and then assign selected bone. We're in upper level. We just take our time, because this is the bit that got confused. Because this bit, which is actually probably the most confusing bit to rig, is a bit on the Rokoko one. They went, oh, and then you just go blah 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 blah, and I was like, fuck, I don't even know what you've clicked. This is the hips. This is our main bit, so we're going to assign that joint. This is where it got confusing, right? So this here is this spine link, okay? Assign that. From there, this bit, open this, is this bottom spine here. Okay? This bit, we go back in, is this bit here. Even though it's way further up the body, that's the way it works. So then, this bit is the neck. Reflect it. And this bit is our noggin. Okay? This here is collarbone, shoulder, whatever, but collarbone, let's call it. This bit is that bit. This bit then goes like that. And then finally, we click on the main bit of the hand and we ignore the fingers and we just assign the bone. Right, okay. Once we've done that, we need to tell it to create a control rig. So we come up here, this little button, create control rig. We say it's a biped, not a quadruped. And we want FKIK. And there you go, it turns to that. And this is our control rig here. Now, what we have to do is do exactly the same process, but for the animation rig, which is press play, as you can see, it is a different rig. Let's just pull it back again. It doesn't matter that when it starts, it's just a little bit easier to separate it out. So what we're going to do, with that rig selected, we go up here and get character none, gives us this menu again. We're going to define another skeleton. Do you want to define it? Define, and zoom in. And exactly the same thing again. This is the toe base. This is the foot. This is shin. This is your thigh. I'm going to try and get every single bit of the body right. Okay. This is your hips. This is my camera going crazy. We don't panic. Right. Stop. What are we doing? See, this is a problem with Motion Builder. Sometimes it's just a massive padding. And it's quite difficult to understand what it's playing at. See. I've not asked it to do any of those things. Let's come back. So, if it has a paddy, just try not to panic too much. It does happen. This is the base of your spine. I'm going to go up one. Remember, we click here. The next bit of your spine. The next bit, even though it looks like it would be sort of the start of your collarbone, it's not. It's still part of the spine. We're going to connect the neck view, click on this. And then the top one, bada bing. This bone here, so it's not one of these three. It's this one. It's going to be your collarbone. We're going to connect this one. And select this one. And then we're going to attach these hands. Right. I'm now going to save as, not save. Because if I just do a save, I will save over my base T-pose, which is not what I want to do. We'll save it in our motion builder files, which is completely separate. And this is pipe, or for fuck's sake, pipe line demo. With Greg walking. And say, yeah. It really doesn't matter for the time being. Okay, so we've got a save now, and actually before we move on, we need to define or create, our control rig for the cinema rig. It's biped, FKIK. Right, okay, we've got two rigs that look fairly similar. Okay, this is an important step which can get quite confusing. On character 1, we're going to change the source to none. You see it'll snap back to its original position. Still play, and it'll still play the animation through, which just move back in the control rigs there. We go back to character, not character 1. Change the source to character 1. And we press play, and both rigs are snapped together. If I go display, show selected, our spaceman, Pete Spaceman, is now animated. And his feet are fine, they're not all bent out of shape. I mean, that was a bit spazzy, but that's just Greg's walking. He's walking and looking around, and it's all gravy. Now, if I want to change some of the animation on this, I have to essentially bake this onto the character. And to do this, we click back up here. Let's go bake plot to skeleton. Right? And this is where it's, as far as I can see, the only way to do it. And I've tried not having to do this, and it just does not work. Right. File, save, file, open. We're going to open exactly the same file we've already got open. And it seems mental, but I've tried it not doing this stage, but it didn't work. So we open it. You can take whatever it wants into it. That's fine. It just doesn't matter. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go File, Motion File Import. And we're going to take the same file, the Motion Builder file, and we're going to import it as a motion file. So you've walked through it again. We've done that FBX. We've saved it, reopened it in Motion Builder, and now we're going to take that exact same FBX but open it as a motion file. So click on Open. It'll give you this, right? We don't want to do Create. We want to do Merge, and we don't want any of these boxes selected. Okay? It doesn't matter that it's going to import another fucking cinema camera. Ignore it. We can delete it. Click Import. It's going to give you this little menu. Trying to merge this. I don't understand what any of this means. You just click Continue, and away you go. Now what we have here is what looks to be exactly the same thing as we already had, but with the character selected, not character 1, just character, come to Bake Plot to Control Rig. What that means is we can now move joints. Okay, but you'll notice it'll snap back into position because you now have this. Now you can use different layers of animation. We want to make sure we're on animation layer 2, which is down here. Sorry, animation layer 1. You have to ignore my nonsense. We can, if there is any clipping or any issues, we can look at the file and we can say, we know our take realistically is not going to start until here. I can grab a joint, like his wrist. I can say, let's do the full body part. The full body part will mean we'll sort of do a bit of an IK. I can maybe lift it up a bit, pull it out a little bit, push it forward, wrong way. I can just give his body that sort of space it needs and click this button down here, key. What that'll do with the whole animation from that point is it'll use that as its reference. So it's just giving his body just that extra little bit of space. We'll do the same thing with the other arm because it looks like it needs a little bit of space. I'm going to grab this down here. I'm going to pull it out. Maybe pull it up. Well, maybe pull it up a little bit. Give it a bit of a kink in it. And what I'll do is I'll fix the hands in Cinema because I could attach objects to them and stuff. Well, so his hands, we don't want it to be quite as out. So I'm going to grab this tool here and just bend it in a little bit. Bend his wrist in, click key. And now both those arms, I've got that extra little bit of arm space. Like I said, the hand, we can, if it's like, okay, it's a little bit, no one has a bent elbow quite as much as that really, do they? Let's go back here, and they're walking. We go a little bit further and go, alright, it just needs to be a bit more relaxed, man. And let's bring his wrist in a bit like that because what I'll probably do is close a fist in Cinema. Stick another key there. The problem we're having with his ankle, just watch through the animation. If there's a bit where it goes a bit janky, we know we can just add a keyframe and then fix it. Walking along, he's walking along. It's a bit janky there, I'd say. So this footstep, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab his pin. Because of the way we selected it, which is all this up here, if I select that, it'll just move just that bit of his body. Oh no, moves all of it. Ignore me. Grab this though because it's going to move everything properly. I'm going to twist. I'm not actually going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a keyframe, and then from here, from where his foot lands, I'm just going to twist this more to the way I want it and add another keyframe. And then if his foot goes inward too much, which it does there, I'm going to come, his foot comes off the ground there, so I can hide a keyframe in here where his foot's off the ground to the little bit where it lands, and I'm just going to twist. And then you can see that I've really just managed to clean up my data even more. And you can just go through it and keep on going. You can even do the hands in it if you want to, but for now, we'll do them in Cinema. So now what we do is we have to remember to bake plot back to skeleton. And we can go to Python tools, FBX export. Let's knock it back to just for consistency. Export, we're going to find a place to put the file. Most builder exports, pipeline demo, Greg Walking, save. That gives all this crap, and that's completely saved. So now what I can do is I can go file. Wait, no, let's not do it that way. Let's go into here. Let's find the Planet Crash. Most builder exports, pipeline demo, Just grab Greg Walking and put him in here. Now this, obviously we want all these, but what we do want to do, quite an important step. Once it's read the file, there you go. Okay, brilliant. You see, it's got its textures. There we go. Hello, Mr. Spaceman. The Spaceman now is in, and it's completely how we wanted him. With his arms spaced out a little bit more, so we've avoided some of that clipping. You can still go in and tweak it in here as well, but for now, this one, we don't need half of this crap though. I think you can get rid of all those 3. Yeah, there you go. So Spaceman's in. He's a bit bent out of shape there because that's just sort of how it goes. But yeah, I think you can see that with a bit more cleaning up, it is a pretty fast process, but it gives us, by going through Motion Builder, it gives that extra flexibility that we've just not had in cinema. Sometimes you get a dialog box that comes up that asks you if you want to amend the animation tracks, and you just say no to that. You'll find it'll come through, and it won't work. So then you can do what everyone does: is you can just load it into Octane. Thinking why, because these aren't actually Octane materials, but ping, click floor in. Stick the Octane daylight in. And suddenly you have your motion capture data in cinema, cleaned up with the power of Motion Builder. We have our guy. So there you go. I think that was useful. Like I said, if you can think of better ways, great. Let us know. But don't just say, "Why didn't you think of doing this?" Actually, tell us how to do it, because I'm sure there are lots of other ways to do things. It doesn't matter that it's just this way works for me. Hope it's helpful anyway.